Creativity. It's what our classrooms need. It's how our students can really learn. It's how our teachers should be able to teach. And it's something that really helps to engage our students. And as educators, I think it's something that we really want more of in our schools. So let's chat today about creativity in the classroom and why it's so important for students to have that from us. What do the arts have to do with learning in SEL? Oh, so much. Join me as we explore the depths of how these things come together through SEAL, social, emotional, artistic learning. We'll look at the mindset, the methods, and the integrations that make SEAL so effective. So plug yourself in. It's time to get inspired. Hey everybody, Elizabeth Peterson here from the Inspired Classrooms podcast. Welcome back. Today we're talking about creativity in the classroom and why it's so important for our students. See, the thing is that when creativity is placed strategically into the classroom, students thrive. Their learning thrives. And because through artistic creation, students are just more able to engage in the content and also learn some really essential social and emotional skills. And we'll be talking about that a little bit today. But here's the problem. The problem is that teachers are asked to actually step away from creativity when they're asked to implement curriculums, including curriculums in social emotional learning that are scripted and prescribed. And what this does is that it really causes teachers some creative constraint. I want you to think for a moment, how much more effective would students' learning be if teachers were able to really use some creative strategies in their classroom? And how much happier and engaged would students be? And let's face it, how much more would teachers enjoy the work that they do? I want you to think about the sheer engagement and motivation that occurs when we have teachers who are released from this creative constraint and allowed to really design and implement lessons that work for the whole child, allowing them to use all their senses, their intellect, their emotion in order to learn. You may remember, when the buzzwords in education were things like hands-on, multiple intelligences, differentiated instruction, problem solving, cooperative learning. All those types of learning happens more naturally when that creative constraint is loosened and teachers are really allowed more autonomy in their classroom instead of always having to follow their scripted curriculums to a T. And I especially see this, unfortunately, in the social emotional programs that teachers are asked, are actually mandated to teach. But here's the thing. You do not need a prescribed program to teach social and emotional skills in your classroom. And I know that this can be a little bit of a sticky subject, so let's address it a little bit because I understand why you may be using a scripted curriculum or a scripted program for any of the contents, including social emotional learning. After all, this is what your school has probably provided you with, right? You've been asked or even mandated to follow the SEL program so that you can help your students. And that is a great thing that your school is focusing in on these emotional needs of our students because their needs are growing every year. But the thing is that you're just expected to use the program that they're giving you. And I want to challenge that a little bit because I want to ask you, when you deliver the content according to the SEL program, how effective is it? if it was truly effective when you deliver the content according to the program, then that would mean that all your students would be raising their hands and answering the discussion questions and really participating in the lesson, that they would all be getting a lot out of it. But have you ever truly looked out at your students' faces when you read through a lesson? Or how about when you put on a video to help students to understand something like resilience or empathy? That's like giving a kid who wants to learn how to ride a bike a YouTube video to watch. That's not the way it works, right? Instead, you should give him a bike and you should have him hold onto the handlebars and try and balance on it and just try pedaling it out. And you can be there standing by this kid to help him if he falls. That's the type of experiential learning that can happen when you allow your students to have more creative experiences that are really focused on their social emotional learning. And that's where the arts and SEAL comes in. Now, as you may know, SEAL stands for Social Emotional Artistic Learning, and it's a method that focuses on giving teachers who are suffering from this creative constraint, maybe like you. It gives these teachers resources and strategies that you really need, that you can strengthen your students' social and emotional well-being in creative and artistic ways that actually make a real difference in your classroom. This is what I really want for education as I look ahead to the next, not just the next 5 or 10 years or 20 years down the road, but even just next year. I want our classrooms to be a place where teachers can design and implement creative strategies that they know their students will enjoy, and where the social and emotional development happens naturally because students are engaging in creative work. Just think for a moment about your classroom as a garden, right? Where each of your students represents a unique flower. Now, to nurture and allow this garden to flourish, what does a gardener need to do? A gardener needs the freedom to choose the right tools, the right techniques, the plants to meet the individual needs of each flower. In the same way, teachers need the autonomy to apply their creativity to culture a rich and diverse learning environment. And just as a gardener considers factors like sunlight, water, soil quality for all the different plants, teachers should be able to tailor their teaching approaches and their resources and their assessments to provide the optimal conditions for each of the students that are in front of them day in and day out. This is how schools will flourish if they start giving the teachers the autonomy and the ability to be creative in their own classrooms, when they can loosen those straitjacket constraints and allow teachers to be the creative beings that they are. Now, if this speaks to you, you have found your place. And I want to encourage you to download this episode, share this episode with another teacher or educator or administrator who would benefit from listening to this message and joining in this movement, really, to help teachers to be able to find their creativity again and use it to the best of their ability so that they can help their students flourish when it comes to their social and emotional growth. Because without that social and emotional growth, we have no academic growth. So find me on Instagram, Facebook, DM me. Let me know what your thoughts are in terms of this topic of creativity in the classroom, why it's so important, and how teachers' autonomy and the loosening of their creative constraints can really benefit our students. All right, that's it for me for today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I can't wait to talk to you again. Thanks so much for listening. Please be sure to subscribe as we continue talking about arts, learning, and SEL through SEAL, social, emotional, artistic learning. If you want to learn more, go to theinspiredclassroom.com. My name's Elizabeth Peterson, reminding you to get inspired so that you can be inspiring to your students.